The third child vanished with the last rays of the sun, and Kale knew the spirit of the long frost had claimed another. For 2 moons, the curse had plagued them. It came on the wind, a silent predator that left no tracks and shed no blood. It took the old, the infirm, and the very young, those whose breath was already thin in the face of the encroaching ice. The clan huddled closer to the fire in the great cave, their numbers dwindling, their faces etched with the twin agonies of hunger and fear. Only Bor, the bone singer, seemed to have any power against it. He was ancient, his back bent like a river willow, but his eyes held the sharpness of a flint knife. Each time someone disappeared, Bor would retreat to the sacred hollow, chanting to the painted bones of their ancestors, his voice a low hum against the howl of the wind. He would emerge with reassurances that he had placated the spirit, that he was weaving a protection around the clan. But the protection always failed. Kale's fear was a physical thing, a cold stone in his gut. It was not for himself. He was strong, a skilled hunter. His fear was for Lyra, his younger sister. Her cough had worsened with the cold, a dry, rattling sound that echoed the skittering of bones. She was exactly the kind the spirit seemed to favor. He would not lose her. Distrust, a forbidden and bitter herb, began to grow in Kale's heart. He respected Bor, as all did, but reverence could not fill a stomach, nor could it warm a shivering child. That night, when Bor slipped away from the fire, his familiar reindeer hide cloak blending into the shadows, Kyle followed. He trailed the shaman through a narrow fissure at the back of the cave system, a path forbidden to all but the bone singer. The air grew colder, the scent of damp earth and something else, something medicinal and sweet, filled his nostrils. Kyle peered from behind a limestone column and saw Bor tending a small, sputtering flame. Beside the fire, a stone bowl held a steaming dark liquid. Bor was grinding herbs, chanting in low tones. Not a plea to spirits, but a soft, rhythmic recitation. Kale's heart pounded. He was witnessing the sacred ritual, the medicine to fight the curse. He felt a surge of hope and shame for his doubt. But then he saw Bor pick up the bowl and turn not towards the cave mouth to face the spirit, but deeper into the darkness of the passage. Kyle crept after him. The passage opened into a tiny hidden chamber. There, huddled in a nest of old firs, was Lyra. She must have wandered off, feverish and lost. Kyle almost cried out in relief, but the sound caught in his throat. Bor knelt beside her, his expression not of a healer, but of a profound, weary sadness. He raised the bowl to Lyra's lips. "Hush now, little one," the shaman whispered, his voice impossibly gentle. "Drink this. It will stop the coughing. It will stop the cold. It will give your strength to the others." Kale burst from the shadows, a roar of fury erupting from his chest. He knocked the bowl from Bor's hand, the dark liquid splashing against the cave wall. "What are you doing, old man? Poisoner!" Bor did not flinch. He simply looked at Kale, his ancient eyes filled with a sorrow that seemed older than the mountains. "It is not poison, Kale. It is mercy." "Mercy?" Kale spat, pulling a shivering Lyra behind him. "Look around you," Bor said, his voice quiet but resonant in the small chamber. "The herds have moved south. The berries are frozen stones. There is not enough food for 50 or even 40. But there might be enough for 30. The realization struck Kyle with the force of a club. He looked at the old man, the bent back, the slow movements. He thought of the others who had vanished. Old man Hem, whose lungs had long been failing. The twins born too small, too weak to suckle properly. "There is no spirit of the long frost," Bor said, his voice breaking for the first time. "There is only winter, and there is only the clan. I do not take them from the clan, Kyle. I give their share of the meat, their share of the warmth, their share of the future, to the clan. It is a terrible song I must sing, but it is the only way any of us survive." Kale stared at the shaman, the revered elder, the keeper of their history. He was not their savior. He was their shepherd, silently, mercifully, culling the weakest of his flock so the rest might live to see the spring. The silence in the cave was no longer sacred. It was the sound of a horrifying, necessary secret.